This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, please let me know if my screen is visible to you.
Yeah, we can see your
Yes, it is
screen.
visible.
Okay, okay, fine. So just to give a quick overview of what we have learned in last week, and then we will move on to today's session. And today's session is little bit more important. So I would request everyone to please pay attention to the details, and if necessary, wherever necessary, please make a note of that, because we'll be also seeing touch basing the SAP and other things. So last session we covered about what is the architecture of Tosca, different roles in Tosca, different methods of handling data in Tosca, licenses, workspace, requirement, and some different SAP environment. Also, I asked the question like what is smoke testing and sanity testing. So most of you have given the right answer. And if you want in more detail, in more depth about smoke testing and sanity testing, you can look it over here. I think probably I believe everyone know here what is the difference between smoke and when it is performed. So I would not go much into this, but if you want, you can have a look again of what does it actually mean and when it is performed. And also, yeah. So this we have seen, and we were seeing about the SAP environment in the last session. And today's session, right, we will begin with SAP only, with introduction of SAP ST, and then we will see what is the organization structure in SAP ST, and what test data we will be required for testing our system. Then we will see the flow of an ST. Instead of calling basic flow, I can just tell flow in SAP ST. And then what is the T code. So when you want to navigate uh, in SAP application, right, like in the GUI application, we use some basics T code. So with the end of SAP training sessions, right, I think it will take 2-3 hours to learn the flow of the SAP. So you will be knowing all these T code tables, and I hope by this week everybody would have installed Tosca and SAP. If you have not installed, I would request do it as soon as possible, because probably from next session onwards, right, we'll be entering into our tools, or if permits today, right, we'll even enter our tool today itself. So please be ready with your Tosca license and SAP access and license, whatever you want. Please get in touch with Isha and get it done as soon as possible. Then we will see, since we are um, automating our SAP application, so there is some basic configurations, I would say, that we require to do in order to scan the application, in order to run the test cases. So we will see that also, and folder structure, and probably we'll try to cover the last 3-4 section like modules and other things in Tosca. I am not sure if time will give us to go through this, but let's deep dive into this. So I think let me come here. Yeah. So there is a
Hello.
lot of, yeah.
Sorry to disturb you. Actually, I was not attended last session. Uh, can you please provide that session video to me? Is it possible to provide?
Yeah, we will do it. Just
Yeah,
to
because
reach out in the group, and they will provide the link. Okay.
yeah, sure. Because I am not aware how the Tosca architecture and all. So,
Mm-hmm. Fine, no problem. Was just an introduction session.
okay.
Can you go on mute? I think voice is echoing. Yeah,
Sorry.
you can mute yourself. I think there was some echo over here. Yeah. So yeah, recording will be provided to you, and you can go through that. And maybe it was a basic session only, but it is good to know that you understand those concepts also. So yes, I'll move forward. Yeah. So Guys, stop me wherever you don't understand, okay? Because I believe whenever you're automating something, right, you should know the manual steps first, then only you can automate in a better way, okay? So what is SAP ST? So ST stand for sales and distributions, okay? So whenever you have a company, right, a manufacturing company, so obviously if you're manufacturing something, you need to sell those items also. And if you are selling some items, you should have your distribution network also to sell those product and to achieve your business goal, right? So just manufacturing will not help you. You need to sales the product, and you should make your distribution stronger. So there is where SAP comes into a picture. So last session also I have already explained that SAP has different modules like sales and distribution, material management, warehouse module, finance module, treasury module, HR modules. So there are different module, and one of the module which we are going to see for our training is ST, okay, sales and distribution. So you can see it is a core module within the SAP ERP. For those who don't know what is ERP, it is enterprise resource planning. Okay, so you have a enterprise and you are running your business onto that. Something we call it as a enterprise resource planning. Okay, so what does this ST mean? Okay, so every module, right, has a standard flow. Here we call it in ST, we call it as a order to cash cycle. So we will see why we call it as a order to cash cycle. You manage here, you manage your sales order. Okay, order to cash cycle is basically you create your sales order and you manage your sales order, and you do pricing for that particular material, you do shipping, billing, and you have some customer data and other activities. So it integrate with material management module and finance module to provide the real time data analytics. Okay, so obviously if you're selling something, you should have integrated somewhere between finance. And if you're selling something, you are selling a material in in SAP. If I'm talking about any goods or any services, right, we define here in SAP as a material. Okay, so in a broader term, I can say material is something which is related to your goods or services. There are different types of materials also in SAP, but we will not deep dive into that. But we will see. Uh, just to give you an idea, it also integrate with and FI to provide a real time data. Okay, so now this is about SAP ST and order to cash cycle. And now I will go to structure of, yeah, organizational structure of SAP ST. Okay, so before like starting, right, you should understand how is the organization structure. Okay, so when an SAP consultant, right, this is not a job of tester. Whenever an SAP consultant or a developer, SAP developer, is configuring something or developing something in SAP with respect to ST, right, this is how a data is configured. Okay, so this is a tree structure, and we will be seeing this. So basically you will have a company, and you will have a company code. Under a company you will have a multiple company codes. So let's say your company, some you have a some company name over here, and under that you have a company code. Company code can be of a different countries. For example, you have a different uh, for different countries you have a different company code, but the company is one. It is just it is having its branch in different it is a multinational company. So a different company code can be used here. And then you will have a sales organization. So for each company code, under each company code, a sales org will be there. Under your sales org, you will have a distribution channel and a division. So both you will have. However, I have prepared something here for you to understand in more clarity. Okay, so this is what I said, like you have a company, and the company will be defined, or you can call it as a client also or a company also. And then for that, as I said, you can have multiple company code, but for now let assume there is one company code. and the code of the company is PR55. Okay, it can be anything whenever you go to test your data, right? So this will be provided to you by your organization or by your developer. So as a tester, right, you will be getting all this data, but this is just to understand for you in a better way that this also exists. If you're not understanding this also, it is totally fine, but it is good to know, okay, from a tester point of view. And under company code, right, your company will have a plant, okay, plant or a warehouse. You can go on a mute. If you have any questions, you can let me know. I'll give you some time to ask your questions also. So obviously, if you have a company code, under that you will have a plant. You can have multiple plant in a company code similar, and under company code you can't directly have a storage location. Okay, that's the reason I have put under plant you will have storage location 1 and storage location 2. So however, if there is a sales st process, if you are looking from an st process, right, from an order to cash cycle, here onwards if I say st process, you have to know, you have to understand it is a otc process. Okay, order to cash cycle or order to cash process. Okay, so you under your company code you will have, give me a moment. Yeah, so under your company code you can have multiple sales organizations. Okay, and under your sales organization you can have distribution channel. So let's say your sales organization is 1212, so like this code will be given, and your distribution channel is cw and division is wc. This is just a code. It can be a number like 1000 for example. Another sales organization can be 1000, and a distribution channel can be so 0, and division also can be 00. So I'll come to this why this is why the company will have like this. You can have sales of 2000, distribution channel as 1010. Okay, so you can have anything whenever you're going. So but the hierarchy and a tree structure, right, when you're developer or a um, what you say functional consultant is configuring, and based on the requirement what they get it, what they assign, right, they will do it like this. Okay, for example, for plant they can give us like 5555, and for storage location they can give us 5050. So this storage location can be different 5051. Okay, so it can happen like for everything you will represent here as a code, and this will be something your like you will call this as a header data. Okay, so whenever we are going in the sap, right, sales org, distribution channel, division, all this you will call as a header data. Means this data will be common and it will be utilized in the entire organization. Okay, so whenever you want to, let's say you want to create any sales order, right, so you have to know about this data, for which organization you are going to create a sales data, and for which division you're going to create a sales data. So you have to be aware of this. Now let's say why we need all this, and why are we doing all these things, and why we want to understand all this. Okay, so let's assume there is two company. Okay, I'll come here. So there is one company a, and there is one company. If anyone wants to tell their company name, right, they can tell it, or else I will call it as company a and company b. Okay, so let's say in company a, can I know anyone name? Yeah, Manju. So where I was here, so let's say Manju is working in a company a. Okay, and when he's working he realizes that he, so I'm just telling you in a story format so that you understand it better and you understand how a particular company in the real time it works, and this is pretty much a standard process. Okay, there can be when you go on a real time work, right, there can be a slight modification, slight changes here and there, but in reality, right, in most of the process, standard process, this is not going to affect. Okay, so still we haven't come into an automation, since this is an SAP automation, right? So I'm just giving you some background of SAP before entering into an SAP application, so that you are aware of that, you are aware of the manual steps, manual process, and then we will enter into an SAP automation and we'll automate that. Okay, so I'm just giving you a background of that, in order if anybody has joined new today and they want to have a background, right, why we are, this is an automation class, why we learning this. So this is just a foundation basics to automate your things. Okay, however, let me come here. So Manju is working in a company A, and he require a raw material. Okay, so he require a raw material which his company doesn't manufacture, they procure it. Okay, so please pay attention to my word, whatever I'm saying, right? So they don't have this raw material, they don't have this raw material, they go in a market and they procure this particular material. Okay, give me a moment. Yeah, so what happens, and company B is a manufacturing company, okay, of that particular raw material. There can be a n number of company. Okay, so company B is a manufacturer of this particular raw material. There can be a n number of companies in the market which manufacture this raw material. Okay, and a company A wants to procure that material. So what Manju will do, he will go to his company's purchase organization, because if anything wants to purchase, right, he has to go through his purchase organization. Okay, so he will inform his purchase organization. Again, there will be a process which is called material management, but I don't want you to take into that because you will get confused. So I'm just keeping from an ST perspective how this happens. Okay, if I tell you directly a sales order is created, right, for whom you're creating, who ordered this sales order, you'll have many questions. Okay, so that's the reason I'm just giving you some glance. So Manju is in a requirement of a raw material, and a company doesn't manufacture, so they go through a procurement process. So whom Manju will inform, he'll inform to his purchase organization, okay, that he need a material in certain quantity. Okay, again this is very important, certain quantity and a date. Okay, or a period of time that he wants this material. So he will inform his purchase organization that he need in this quantity by this date or time for this particular, let's say for next 6 months continuously he want this material. So what his purchase organization will do, right, they will reach out to all the companies in the market, and suppose let they reach out to company B, right? So company B will receive something called inquiry. Okay, so company B will receive an inquiry from company A that they are in the need of this raw material with this much quantity, this date, for this period. Okay, so basically, if you want to describe what is an inquiry document, again this will, inquiry is a document which will be created in SAP. So this is something called internal document. Okay, you all can also make a note of this if you want, or recording will be provided, you can listen now and then make a note while watching the recording. So inquiry nothing but it is an internal document, and it records the information request from the customer. Okay, I'm just typing. So inquiry is nothing but it is an internal document, and it will record all the information that they have received from a company A. For them, for company B, company A will be a customer, right? So I'm just writing here it as a customer. Okay, and based of this inquiry, right, the company will create a quotation. Okay, so he want this quantity within this period of time. So if a company B is ready to deliver those quantity in certain amount of price, right, so they will prepare a quotation, and quotation is a legal document. Okay, okay, so quotation is nothing but it is a legal document. It is used for customer delivery of goods and services. Okay, so when you are writing a quotation, sending a quotation to them, and then it become a legal binding that you have to deliver them. If not, that company may take a legal action on you or whatever the terms and condition they have. So sometime what happened, right, this two process is also bypassed from an SAP, or sometime it is, most of the time it is created from an SAP. Sometimes this is moreover a manual or a paper work in a company that they do it, or if they want to keep it a record of that, so they will do this all this document in SAP and they'll keep a record of this. Okay, but most of the time, let's say your now your, and for company A, so company A I can call as a customer for company B, and for company A, company B will be acting as a vendor. Okay, so this are some terminology which I will be using it. So for company B, company A will be customer. For company A, company B will be the vendor. Okay, it's a very simple thing. From whom you're purchasing, they will be your vendor. From whom you're giving, they are your customers. Okay, so I'm not deep diving into that. But when I'm saying customer and vendor, right, in future, so you should understand what I'm trying to mean, or I will give you another term from an S4 HANA perspective. What is customer and vendor has been come into S4 HANA. So for now, you can just go with this. So or sometime, let's say your vendor is decided. Okay, so from whom you want to purchase. So this time they have purchased this raw material. They got to know, okay, the same company that they want to purchase next time, they will not go again and get inquiry and quotation, right? They will directly order the material and they will get the product. So for that, the next step is, after inquiry and quotation is created, right, a company will create a sales order. Okay, sales order. Okay, so in sales order you will have every detail which we will be seeing today also, like how we create in SAP. So you will have the whole detail in SAP sales order. So like what material you have, what quantity you have, what is the unit of that, what is the pricing condition of that, delivery line, schedule line, availability of that particular item, your customer detail, each and everything will be having in their sales order. Okay, the term sales order represent you're selling a particular material in a quantity in this particular date, that is your delivery to this customer. So everything, basic data details will be there in sales order. Now after your sales order is created, right, you want to, if sales order value is high, right, so sometime you want to release this sales order. Okay, so there is one process that you release the sales order, and then you deliver the goods. Okay, goods, and once you deliver the goods, then you do billing for the sales order. Okay, once you do the billing for the sales order, right, mostly from inquiry, quotation, sales order, release, delivery, billing. Okay, this is your end of your O2C process, whatever I have just written here, right? Create a inquiry, create a quotation, create a sales order, deliver the goods, bill the sales order. This is something called OTC, okay, OTC cycle, okay, or OTC process, OTC cycle, whatever you want to call it. So this is something that, and now sometime I'm just adding some FI element into this in OTC cycle. You can know it. It can be good for your interview, or you can skip it. Okay. So that is something called, after billing the sales order, right? There is something called release billing document, billing document to financial accounting. Okay. Financial accounting, you can say that way. Okay. So once your sales order is created, bill, right, so you can release the billing document to financial accounting, and then you can check your invoice, and then there is one more step, and the very last step, process, you can process the incoming payment. Okay. So I have not gone into T codes. I will come into the T codes. Process the incoming payment. Okay. So this you will be seeing it. So if you are a manual tester in SAP, right, so your job would be, if you are testing something into SD process in order to cash cycle process, right, so first thing is you will be creating an inquiry. So how do you create an inquiry? So now we will see different T codes in OTC process or an SD. Okay, sales and distribution. So sales and distribution means order to cash cycle only. This is the main cycle, main process you have in OTC. So we will see the different T codes, what you have for this particular thing. Okay. So for inquiry creation, and I will show you also how to navigate through this T code. So for, if you want to create an inquiry, you have a T code called VA11. So obviously, but just by saying create an inquiry, I can't create an inquiry, right? I have to navigate to some page in SAP. I'll take you to SAP. So I will show you there also, but just for your reference now, right, I'm just writing this T code. So how do you navigate in SAP application with the T code? Okay. So this is the T code which will take you to the inquiry creation page. This is the T code which will take you to quotation page, and the very famous T code, I think many of you would be knowing, VA01, to create a sales order. To release your sales order, you have VKM3. To deliver your this thing, you have VL01N. And for billing the sales order, you have VF01. Releasing, you have VF02, or sometimes you call change the invoice, change the billing order. So for that, for checking the invoice, you have FB03. Again, from here, it all, from even from a billing also, right, it start with finance. So this is something with checking invoice is FB03. Process incoming payment is F28. Okay. Then you have one more T code, FBL5N, but I don't want to deep dive much into that because we'll not be using. But in an interview perspective, right, if you're saying that, if you're making this story and you're telling what I have just explained in last 20 minutes or 30 minutes, right, it is more than enough. Okay, that you are aware of this particular process. And if you want to learn in depth, in detail, in the near future, we can discuss more. I can share you some videos also, where if you have very much interest in deep diving, right, from a testing perspective also, so I can give you that also. But now we will cut short this to here. Anyone till this time, if they have anything now, I'll take a pause. Please tell me what you have any doubt. Okay.
Yeah, hi. Where this PGI will happen?
Yes, very good question. So uh, I think when we deliver the goods, right? Yeah, here. So
Yeah.
if I insert one row above, so after your delivery of the goods, right? So you will have your what you call, um, I'm just missing something. Mm,
PGI report.
before PJ there is one step, right? Give me a moment.
No, that before PJ, this is the only step, right? In delivery also we can do it. I think so. I'm not aware
Packing,
exactly.
packing.
Correct me if it is wrong or else.
No, no, you are right. You are right. I missed here. So
Yeah.
we will see here. Okay, good, good. I'm very happy that you are aware of this. So you will have picking, packing, and good issues.
Packing. And where this pricing will happen in this also, we can do it pricing also as well, right? While
Mhm.
creating
Packing will
sales
happen
order, we can.
automatically. Conditions will be set up over there in SAP. So
Okay.
for your material, everything, right? Conditions will be defined for your material, everything. And if there is any discount for that customer, special, all those things, right? It will be configured in SAP and it will automatically calculate. Okay, pricing procedure.
No, actually, I'm not talking about material. Material is different, right? Actually, so here also I just saw on Google. So for here also, while creating any sales order, so here also we can define a pricing for customer as well, right? I'm talking
Mhm.
about a product, not material.
Yes, yes, you can define that. Okay, there is if you want,
So where
but
can we define that pricing details here?
see, I will take you to SAP only. Give me a moment.
Sorry, Yash.
See, generally what happens, right? So see, if I am ordering this material in this particular quantity,
Okay.
right? So for this
Mm,
particular thing, this is a testing system. But if I show you here, right? So
mm,
here you have only one condition type. Okay, that is, I mean,
okay.
this is a what do you call? I mean, this is not an actual production system or some system, but
Yeah,
you'll have your value defined over here. And if there's any taxes, there'll be so many conditions. Okay, so
mm,
like shipping cost, every cost will be added, like 5 to 6 things will be added. I can probably bring a screenshot for you and show you. So all those things will
okay.
be there, and based on that, right, it will, your pricing will be conducted. So however, the one which you were saying, right, you can add your price or something. There will be one place in the line item when you define, right, you can actually see here amount. You can even go back and change it from here also. Okay, and you can
Yeah.
define a net price. So but mostly it will be auto populated, auto configured. Sometime if you want to check it by increasing the quantity, something called value contract and quantity contract.
Mm,
Okay, so there you can check it. But mostly it will be defined in your pricing procedure or a conditions. Okay, so if you see the net value of
okay.
the sales order is already defined here. Okay,
Who will define this pricing and
it will
all?
be
Is
configured
SB only?
consultant,
Sorry,
SAP consultant.
consultant only, right?
Yes, they will be defining it. We as a
I,
automation.
I mean, I mean SD consultant or FI consultant?
Uh, Good question. It is see like this is all, I would say, probably a material. I'll get back to you on this question. Okay. So it is nothing to do with like finance or ST. Okay. Moreover,
Okay.
whenever your like your requirement gathering is done, or whenever you're onboarding your vendor, right? So that is called business partner here. So many things will
Mm,
be decided over there. So I'll come to this pricing. Who will define this? Okay. So it will, again, it will have many factor and what do you say? Many conditions. Will be there, which will bring down you to a final price. Okay.
okay.
So why my voice is echoing? But good. Surendra, you can go on a mute. I think whenever you're turning on it, yeah, fine. So good. I think I missed one step, picking, packing, and good issue. But yeah, definitely we will whenever we are going in our this thing, right. Let me show you here something.
And one
Uh,
more doubt.
yes, yes.
So actually, here you are telling about the billing, right? I mean, once the delivery and PGA will happen,
Mm-hmm.
so next step is will be the invoice. I mean billing. So once the billing is done, how anyway the billing is done means here the goods movement will be happen, right? Normally
Yes.
once invoice will generate, so goods movement will be happen, right? So where can we check that it stock? I mean, once the goods will be crossed out to our plant means, so the stock will be also it is reduced, right?
Yes. Yes.
It will
Yes.
reduce,
Good.
right?
Good. Good. Very
So
good question.
can we see it here?
Yes. Yes. We can see that. I will show you. Okay. See. First to answer your question, right? Here, the first question what you asked me, like sales, create sales order, release order, and then create outbound delivery, perform picking and good issue, then billing, release. And to answer your second question, where we can see the stock, suppose this is my material, okay? So this is my material, and what is my plant? I'll just confirm what is my plant. All these things, all this detail, right? I will come into detail when I am into SAP. But this is the T code, okay? MMBE is the T code. So you can go here, you can enter. If you know plant and storage location, you can give it. For now, yeah, this 55555 is the plant. So you see here there is this much stock, 10,040, okay,
Yes.
100,000,
Okay.
40. So once you place an order and this quantity will get decreased, and once you up your stock, when you procure something it will go up, when you sell something it will go down. So all those things, right? Even if you, that's the reason, right, I wanted to keep very minimal, like. But whenever you are doing any transaction, right, suppose for example, if you're doing billing the sales order, okay? So if I highlight over here, I don't know how others will understand this, but there'll be something, there'll be accounts, okay? In finance there'll be accounts which will get debited and credited, okay?
Yes,
So you,
integration will happen, right?
yes, so you have two account when you perform VF01, right? So you have two account, one is called customer account, another is called revenue account. So when a billing happen, your customer will get debited and the revenue will get credited, okay? And how this customer will come, other things, right? All those things, like there'll be a reconciliation account from accounting, from a table BKOA, okay? I mean, I don't want to go in that depth, uh, but all these accounts, right, parallelly it will be getting debited and credited, in this thing, like somewhere you'll have bank and customer, somewhere you'll have customer and revenue account, somewhere you'll have stock and cost of goods sold. So these are different account which will get credited and debited. I don't want to go that depth because it will create a confusion for people who are learning it for the first time.
Okay. Who will test these things? Is SD tester will do this testing or FI tester will do the testing? I'm just asking as a tester, manual tester. I'm not
Mhm.
having that much grip on SAP, but I'm just telling,
See
asking
this.
question because here there are two people is involving, right? Two modules is involving.
Mm-hmm. Yes. See, um, again, when I say over here, right, process the incoming payment and check invoice, and VF02 release it to accounting, and VF01. So, I mean, your whenever your FI tester is also testing, right, he cannot directly go from a VF01 to test, okay? So there will be you, if you're only in FI, right, they will be testing different process, okay? Like an RTR process will be there and different process will be there. But if you ask me about this, yes, SAP ST tester will be testing this. So if you are in SAP ST, right?
28. No, I'm telling, I mean, after VF01, so once the billing will be done, the goods movement will be happen, that the next part will come into FI part, I think so. Because
Hmm.
the way you are telling here, SD and FI is integrated,
Yes,
right?
yes. See, generally, right, SAP tester, ST tester will be involved till here, okay? Here. But I have seen
Okay,
people in
FI also
SAP
we need
ST.
to do test.
Sorry.
So I'm just asking, is FIT course mostly, in SAP, I heard if anyone is working on one module, they don't get any other module access authorizations. So we cannot check anything, we cannot test it, right?
See, I'm just whatever knowledge I'm giving here, right? It is good to have after this process, okay? So from
Oh,
here,
sure, sure,
right?
sure. Sorry. Then.
Release billing document, if you see right from here. So and I mean, it depends from a company to company what access do you have, what you don't have. But like when I was a tester, right? And still, if I can say, still I am a tester. So generally we will have access to this T code, and company will expect you to know. So if you are in a early stage, right, of your testing or a junior level, so you will be knowing this thing, okay? But if you know some concept about FI also, right, it is an added advantage, okay? However, see, even in our automation, right, we are not going to do this FD03 and F28, okay? If you see my mm, work, right, in Tosca, whatever I'm going to teach you, I've nowhere added F28, FB03 or FBL5N. There's something called dunning, okay? So I have not added those, okay? Because that is not in the scope of this module, okay? Only all these T codes, right, whatever you see, it is in a scope of this module. So I'm adding over there. But as a manual tester, right, if you are going in an interview and if you are telling that this cycle start from here, and how it from an finance point you are aware a uh, little bit what if you tell all this T code, right, FB03, F28 and BF02 and FBL5N, you're almost covering everything, okay? So there is no harm, it is an added advantage, okay?
Yeah, thank you.
No worries. Anyone has anything? If not, I will stop sharing my screen for a couple of minutes, and I will take someone name, and they have to explain me order to cash cycle.
Sure.
Okay. Um, yes. So is Manju not here? I think he left. Fine. Ravi, can you please explain me? It's fine. We will help you wherever you go wrong, right? How much ever you remember, please tell. Okay.
Yes. So ideally, we'll be creating a sales order creation using VA01,
Okay.
and we'll go to after that we'll do delivery creation, which is using VL01N.
Mm-hmm.
Then posting the goods like using VL02N 2N. Post goods is PGI, right? We'll be doing PGI,
Mm-hmm.
and for billing, which we using VF01.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I only remember till that. Yeah.
No. Almost you are in a good thing.
Mhm.
But whenever this is okay, whatever you told, right, it is okay. So, but whenever you are going in an interview, right, see, inquiry and quotation, you will be very rarely you will be creating whenever you're testing also, okay? But
Mhm.
whenever you're going in an interview, right, please make sure that you tell them that the HT process begins with creation of an inquiry, and
Mhm.
a inquiry is nothing but an internal document, okay, which will record the information which we receive from the customer, and with the help of inquiry we create quotation. Quotation is nothing but a legal document, and which is issued to a customer for a delivery of goods and services. With the help of quotation we create our sales order, that is through T code VA01. How do we create sales order? I will tell you, but in interview you have to explain how do you create a sales order also, and then how do you create a delivery, and how do you perform picking, packing, loading, good issue. So I'll just give you few more idea, like how do you do in an actual world, right? Picking may simply you're going from your location, and you're picking a material and coming, and then you're packing that in a what you say, the box, and then you're loading it in your truck. So your truck number will be assigned, or whatever vehicle you have, right? You are loading in your vehicle, so that will be loading. And once the vehicle leaves your plant, right, it is called post good issue. So when good issue is completed, then your delivery is created, then you do billing for the sales order. So how do you do billing for sales order? Using T code VF01, and then you release it to financial accounting through T code VF02. Believe me, if this way you're explaining it, right, from inquiry to sales order to all these things, right, interviewer will be already knowing that you know many things in SAP. We will see how to do practical. Automatically it will come to your head. But good, you were able, you answered it perfectly. Good, Ravi.
Yeah. Yeah.
And anything else anyone want to ask?
I think no.
Hmm. Okay.
Hello, Peter. I want to know if we already signed on to the course, then when can we request for the installation of SAP or Tosca?
Yeah, I think Shravani, if you're
Oh,
here, I see.
okay. Okay.
Or you can reach it out to her, ping her, message her, and she will be able to
Okay.
help you with that. Okay.
Can. Thank you very much.
Hmm. So I want to actually go to a practical session today, but what I see, right, like most of you don't have SAP and Tosca installed. So it's better that you install the Tosca and SAP both, and then tomorrow we will run through this whole flow. How do we do VA01, VA02, and then um, all the datas whatever we have, right, I will provide you, and one flow I will create, and then I will ask someone to do it on their own in the class tomorrow, and probably everyone can replicate that in their system. And once we are done with this manual part, right, like understanding the SAP and other things, so we will be almost good. However, I will reshare my screen, um, just to give you a walkthrough of SAP. So yeah, let me come. I think I'm already logged out of this system. Yeah.
Uh, Excuse me, bro. Is automation tool will support the Mac?
Tosca,
I
you're
mean,
saying?
Tosca will support Mac. Yeah.
No, no. Straight answer is no. If you're
What
wondering
about
how
SAP?
I'm using, right, so if you are wondering how I'm running my this thing in Mac, so you have to install something called UTM. You can search on it.
UTM.
Yeah,
Okay.
and you can split your this thing, and you can like minimum I would say some 64 GB minimum you can keep it for Windows. There you can install, like it's kind of a remote desktop, okay, so you can access from
Okay.
there.
You purchase separate Windows. Okay.
No, no, it is a free. UTM is free. You can just go and install. Okay.
UTM is free.
Mm-hmm. Yes. How you'll connect to your
Okay.
window,
Can you
right?
show me how it should?
Sorry.
Can you show me how it should be? UTM.
Yeah, I mean we can connect separately, Surinder, because
Yeah, sure, sure.
it might
Sorry.
not be
Yeah,
able to cover this, right? So yeah. Um, where is that? Yes, yeah. So once you install SAP, right? So we will have another 5-10 minutes. I'll take it because I want to give overview of this. Again, I will give overview of this, but just to benefit of, since nobody has any questions, right? So once you install SAP, you will configure your system, and once you configure your system, let's say this is for my SAP ST, you can configure anything, so you will get other ID and other things to you. And then I'll click on this, and you will have your username and password given to you by the institute. So you will log in, and this is how your SAP system will look like. And I am just going to give you a highlight and overview of this particular thing, what we call. And so if you see here, right, all these things, all this mm, uh, system help, extra menu, edit, this we call as a menu bar. Okay, so whenever I say please go to your menu bar, this is your menu bar, and this is called your sub toolbar. And uh, here, if you see a search window over here, here is the place where you enter your T codes. Okay, so when you're going it for the first time, let's say we generally will be going with like /n. So /n, if you enter, it will close this existing window and open a the window which you want to open. /o means, suppose if I give /o va01, what it will do is it will keep my last window as it is. If you see, this window is still there, but it opened a new window over here for me. So if I want to go to another code, va03, so va01 is to create, va02 is to change, va03 is to display. It is in the sequence. You don't have to worry more about that. But if you know va01, create, change, and display. So if I entered /n, the idea was to show you, so it didn't create a new page like how it did last time. So you should know, for people who don't know SAP, right, I'm telling to them. So /n and /o, /n is if you want to open anything in an existing page. /o, you don't want to close this window, or you can use even this also. Okay, create a session. Okay, so if I click, it will create a new window. Okay, so your existing window will be there only, it will create a new window. If you don't want to go here, you can just put /o, it will create a new session for you. Okay, so I think it created or it didn't create. Yeah, however, so also we will be seeing some standard modules when we go in depth, right? For example, SAP in standard modules, in engines in SAP, we will see this login module. So when I was logging, right, like let me close and show you one by one. So where I was, so first, before that, you have something called logon module. Okay, so where you'll define the path of your, if you see there is an image over here. Okay, I'll come to this, but all these things, right, you don't have to automate. That is what I want to show you here. Suppose you have this particular what do you say, information. Okay, so um, you don't have to automate everything. Like how do you, how automation will understand where this path is there. So there is a standard modules, and even you don't have to automate. Suppose if I know my system and connection from logon, I clicked it over here. So you don't have to scan this and create a new module for yourself. Self, it will be already given from a Tricentis. that is login module, same client user password. If you see here, right, if I expand this image, it is the same thing what I have over here. So it will be there in everyone's system when you are installing SAP. Then I was talking about menu, right? So if you see here, if you want to navigate through this menu, right, of SAP, suppose if I log in, if I log in, if I log in, and if I don't have to scan this, okay. So Tosca has already standard modules of SAP menu bar, so we will be seeing how we are utilizing that. And sometime if you're logging with a two different user are logging at the same time, right, you get something like this called a warning message. So this will be utilizing this whenever we are having our what do you call, in the library, whenever you're creating a library, right, so we'll utilize this. So sometime you get success message, failure message, all those things, right. So this can be a standard modules, and you everyone can use it. You don't have to uh, run behind this to scan this. Then as I told you, sub toolbar. So if I expand this, it will be clear to you, but however this is same like what I showed you in SAP. Okay, this is the one which is it is showing over there. And toolbar is nothing but your this one. So if you want to enter anything over here, right, and you want to press any button, so all those buttons, suppose this is an enter button, okay. So how do you press it? You have some standard modules, and there is something called tree view, okay. So if you see here also, you have something called tree, right. Under this tree you have something like this. So you have something called tree here. So we will see how to automate even this also, the tree in SAP. So there's already a standard modules, and we can even scan also. Then you have something called emulated tree. So there are different types of tree in mm, what you call, in SAP. Emulated tree, table tree, you have something called emulated table tree. So people who already know SAP, right, they'll be knowing it. When they hover to this table, right, they will get this type of table. So we will see where we can find this, and we will utilize this module. So how do we navigate in header column, we will all see. So if we are in a row, if we are in a content table, so what in this, what is your header table? If you see something, if I expand this image, right, I don't want to go much, but I just want to show there's something called header table. Again you have something called content. So both headings are different. How you will be navigating through this, right, emulated table and tree both. So you have a tree also, and you have a table also. So sometimes it becomes complex to identify those things. So how you will be doing it, we will see all this. But just to say, all these things are available in SAP. And in next session, right, I think we couldn't cover everything what we decided for today. T codes we covered, tables in SAP, I think I don't want to get, I think all these things I have covered. Organizational data flow in Tosca integration with SAP, we will see. Yes, folder structure and other things we will see. Standard modules we have seen today. And how to scan, yeah, we will see those. And I would request everyone to get this installed by tomorrow, so that we will have a practical session on this tomorrow. Okay, I can walk you through, and even you can do it on your own. And then we will go slowly. Yeah, data, test data already I have, whatever I have over here, right. um, all the test data is working, and we are ready with that. So only thing is, we will do it one time, we will do it manually. And once everybody is aware like how they are doing it manually, then we will quickly move to the Tosca, and then we will utilize those standard modules to make a library of login. That will be the first automation that we will be doing it, creating a SAP login For some of you, if they're wondering how it will look, so something, it will be something similar to this, like this SAP login. So login and logout, two modules, we will be building it very quickly, and from there we will take a pace to automate. So this is how the classes will go on. So before that, please be ready with the infrastructure, okay? And I will stop the recording